Hey, what's up, everyone? Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Master Reviews, here for the Damaged Inc. Network, and what a fitting way for me to basically say that this will be the last video that I will do, and it's kind of fitting. I'm doing my final video in where it basically all started for me, which was right here in my family's living room about 7 years ago, which is kind of ironic when I think about it. And this was where I just did an intro in here, but I figured with this being my final video on YouTube, at least for a while, I might come back and maybe do the occasional one video or so whenever I can. But it's fitting that I'm doing my final video here. And what are you thinking is the final video? Well, it's a redo of my Rocco I did 3 months ago, probably in March. And that is for the band Schammasch. Now, obviously, let's get on with the history. This band was formed in late 2000s, early 2010s with CSR on vocals, guitars, and bass, BAW on the drums and percussions, and backing vocals, and then MA on the guitars. And in 2010, they released their debut album, Sic Luciet Lux. Now, I did want to mention that this is their 2015 release on their current label, which I will get to shortly. Well, the re-release of it. And as you can see, you got snakes with fists at the end with like curved blades, and you got the title track right here in the band name and the style of the band name on there. Their 2010 one had, I think, it might be over here, had like it was a black background with a cloud over it, hovering over a snake, a serpent-like thing at the bottom. But with obviously, I think the name was just above the cloud or something. I can't remember, but it might be over here as I'm learning to edit these on iMovie. But still, I kind of like both artworks, but I kind of like this one a little bit more. As far as the music, it's kind of the same. It's just a reissue, basically. As far as the music goes, it practically goes back and forth from mid-tempo to fast-paced, blackened death thrash, which I'll give you a few examples on this album, as most of the songs, but there is a few that I think are highlights. The first two tracks, Lux Alterna, yes, don't be distracted by the V's, those are called use. And Lux Alterna is just mostly an intro that then transitions into He Whose Face is Made of Entrails. And it is a, oh my god, fast-paced. Like I said, it's a fast-paced. Whereas Lux Alterna is kind of more like the mid-paced stuff. He Whose Face is Made of Entrails. Oh, such a great song. I freaking love it. Motion and the rest of the songs. And then another highlight on here would be the epic on the album, The Venom of God, which again, like the rest of the other songs, does kind of go in the back and forth of the mid-tempo to fast-paced. But oh my god, it's such a great song too. I personally like the first two songs, that they blend really well together, like easily, like brothers, like say Queens, We Will Rock You / We Are the Champions, something like that. Those two bleed really well together and blend together, combine together, and it's really good. I absolutely love it. But yeah, that's basically the whole album in and of itself. It's a great blend of like I said, the mid-tempo to fast-paced blackened death / thrash metal, and it's an absolute killer of an album. And I definitely say if you like that, I kind of like this album for that reason. And it's a great freaking album. Sorry, I gotta limit my cursing in this video, but it's a great album and absolutely a killer of an album. I definitely say check this album out. Now, obviously, they did. I think after that they did some touring, and they also got a new member, AT, on the bass, which means freaking Sick Lucia Deluxe is the only album CSR played bass. So AT relieved CSR, so that leaves him just doing vocals and guitar. And in 2014, obviously, before they got this album, they were signed to Prosthetic Records, which is basically their current label, and they've had some good bands, I would say. Skeleton Witch is one of those bands that I saw on there. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're the only one I remember seeing on there. There might be more that I can't remember. And in 2014, they released their debut on Prosthetic Records, Contradiction. Now, the interesting thing about this album is there's still the blackened death thrash, but obviously the difference is there's a little bit more of that avant-garde approach that this band would later take on in the next album we'll talk about. But there's still some of that blackened death / thrash metal still apparent on here. I take obviously one of the songs that is kind of a highlight of where the avant-garde approach is coming in is the title track, Contradiction. It's quite apparent there. Split My Tongue is another song on here that does have the blackened death / thrash metal stuff apparent on here. But where obviously there's a few other songs on it. Golden Light is kind of also still kind of that similar approach. Maybe somewhat a combination of the blackened death thrash and the avant-garde approach. But then where it really separated is some of the longer songs, like obviously the title track, like I said. The Inner Word is another one. Another really long-winded song on this album. The longest song on here is a 17-minute song called JHWH. Those songs on here are quite apparent that it does have the avant-garde much more apparent on there, but still have the blackened death / thrash metal on this album. And I guess with the addition of the second guitarist, there is kind of a more approach, or bassist, I wouldn't say. The bassist, there we already have two guitarists. With the parent of the bassist and stuff like that, it's pretty apparent on this album here. Apparent on this album that there is that avant-garde approach to it. But yeah, it is quite literally more apparent on here. But definitely, in my opinion, their best album. I would kind of say that this is in my opinion, their best album. Easily. I definitely recommend checking this out. It is an apparent. It is literally one of their best. Well, their best in my opinion, of course. But yeah, quite more apparent on here. So yeah, definitely check it out. Now, obviously, not much changed. Touring date, like I said, they re-released Sick Lucid Lux on Prosthetic Records. And then in 2016, obviously, they did more touring again, and then they went into the studio album to record what is the third time a band has done the third triple album in history, not including compilation and live albums. This one obviously was preceded. This one was preceded, and others that came before it. Obviously, Swallow the Sun's Songs from the North 1, 2, and 3, and Green Day's Uno, Dos, and Tre. Yes, I'm including that. Went to the studio, they made a beast of an album. Like I said, it's a triple album, properly titled Triangle. Obviously, the cool thing about this is it is, like I said, a triple album. And all of them, I got it on vinyl easily. It's pretty freaking cool. There's the band and all that. But obviously, it is a triple album. So, I will talk about each disc individually, kind of. The first two discs are kind of a continuation of where they left off with Contradiction. But the third disc is the most interesting on this album. So obviously, let's talk about the first two discs. Obviously, like I said, there are a few highlights on here. In Dialogue with Death, kind of apparent song on here. Consensus got a lyric video. It's another one in here. Disc 2, more the continuation, Metanoia.
Flame of consciousness, flame of knowledge, flow through me and pervade my physical body.
The Stars of God are kind of, like I said, the first two discs are pretty much, where the band was at Contradiction. But what separates this one from the other one is the third disc, which is, with the exception of, I believe, at least one song on here, the whole disc is instrumental, which kind of surprised me a little bit when I was looking at this on Metal Archives. Like, songs like Maelstrom, the only highlight I have on here, it's basically the third disc is instrumental. And what I said, this album is, like I said, it's a beast. The third disc is completely instrumental. I do enjoy it. I don't enjoy it as much as Contradiction, but yeah, it is a beast of an album. I definitely say check it out if you're into triple album type stuff. Yeah, it's basically, like I said, the third disc is an instrumental journey that basically mind-blowingly amazing on here. But yeah, definitely check this out if you're interested. So basically after this they went to Studio Ken and released basically an EP and the first in a series of albums. The Maldoror Chance Hermaphrodite, which is Basically an EP, kind of like an audiobook in some cases. But not much to say about it. They then got a new member, JB. He is the third guitarist, which kind of blew my mind. I'm like, is this band becoming Slipknot all of a sudden? Are they going to have a second bassist? Jokingly, I'm joking, of course. And of course, they did some more touring and went into the studio in 2019, earlier this year, and announced in November and released 2 singles, Razor Like Razor and A Paradigm of Beauty, which you heard in the intro of this Rodco. And obviously in November, they released Hearts of No Light. Now, of course, again, this is another, well, double LP. It isn't really a double LP in, like, CD form. It's like a single disc album. But, of course, it's pretty damn cool. There's the band right there. Pretty cool. I haven't shown this off, so this is the first time you're seeing it. But, obviously, the album in and of itself is basically kind of a continuation of previous ideas and all that. But then there's some new ideas, very interesting ideas. Take, for example, the song I Burn Within You, which kind of separates the 2 singles. And there is a part early on in the song, like maybe 2 minutes within it, there is this weird and kind of funny spoken word part. And it's quite hilarious.
Species come to life, drawing sketches of a human being parading barefoot over broken glass.
The song itself is pretty good. The song itself is, I just find that kind of hilarious to say the least. And then obviously the other interesting song on this album is the 15-minute instrumental entitled Innermost, Lowermost Abyss. And like I said, it's an instrumental, but I figured it's worth talking about on here. There is a cool acoustic guitar part on here that I thought, oh, that's pretty damn cool. I like that bit right there. The rest is just ominous, atmospheric music being played. Aside from, like I said, the acoustic part is pretty damn cool. I did enjoy the acoustic part. If that was just, if that was its own part, it would probably be pretty cool. But I think to myself, why they even have a 15-minute instrumental? It just weirds me out quite a bit. But and personally, I honestly think this is their weakest album. It's not as good as, say, the first 3 albums, and I wouldn't even add if you included the EP. This wouldn't be terrible. There are some songs I like. The singles are pretty good. I actually enjoy them, but for the most part, the album in and of itself is just kind of like continuation. Nothing interesting, nothing new aside from those two songs, which are very interesting and weird at the same time. But definitely, it is a weak moment on this album. If you like it, go and get it. I did, because I'm a fan of theirs, and I've been getting their albums on vinyl, of course, for quite a while. And I was going to get this either way, but definitely, I definitely say check out the 2 singles if you just want to get them. It's just a continuation. It's nothing too special. It's a pretty good, pretty decent Schammasch album. So there you go. This has been my redoing of my Schammasch, Rocco, and possibly more than likely the final video here on my YouTube channel. This will also be on my BitChute, which link to it will be in the description, of course. So if you enjoyed what will be my last, probably the last Rocco here on my channel, here on my YouTube channel / network, click the like button. If you didn't, click the dislike button. Comment below what your thoughts are on this band. And if you're new, well, I wouldn't say new to the channel because this channel might be deleted by then. But if you're new to the channel again, once again, click the subscribe button right below there. Thank y'all so much for watching. This has been my redoing of my Schammasch Rotko. I will see y'all later, and as always, keep things metal.